Hello everyone, my name is Tara. Thank you for coming around to another video. Today I'm setting up my May spreads in my bullet journal. I've been experimenting a lot this year with different techniques and mediums, different styles, and I recently bought the Himi gouache set that's been really popular on YouTube and Instagram. I've never used gouache before, and I'm honestly having a lot of fun with it. It's like if acrylic paints and watercolors had a wonderful baby, and that baby had the best traits of both acrylics and watercolors. So I love the opacity, it blends really well, it's been taking to paper very nicely, and this set comes with some really wonderful, bright, vivid colors that have been really fun to mix, and yeah. This month I wanted to do something with navy blue and bright orange, and after making a mood board in my Instagram saved photos, I was inspired to do this whole window silhouette look. It's actually pretty cool because you can see the design two different ways, either looking inside of a room at night or looking out of a room at sunrise. I wanted to do something with buildings, but I'm not used to doing any architectural drawing, and honestly geometric lines and shapes kind of intimidate me, so I wanted to keep it really simple. I usually paint with very organic shapes, lots of landscapes and portraits and such, so doing all the straight lines was quite a challenge for me. And as you can see throughout the video, my lines are rarely actually straight, but that's okay. It's my bullet journal and I don't need perfection. I didn't actually do any paper tests for this gouache, so when I first went in I was really just praying it wouldn't bleed through the paper, and alhamdulillah it didn't. So the Nuna notebook is medium white paper, it's 120 GSM, and some markers do bleed through if you're not careful, so I really was just trying to keep the paint fairly dry. I didn't get any bleed through, just some wrinkling as expected, so yeah, that's good. I had a lot of fun mixing these colors. I wanted to have the house be this really lovely navy blue color on the walls, and so to make the window frame I'm just doing a couple layers of different shades of gray and blue to kind of build up the frame. And then underneath here I'm using some more shades of blue to fill in this calendar that I made at the bottom. Yeah, very simple, very minimalistic. And then I get to use this awesome shade of navy blue. It's almost the exact shade that comes in the pot. I just mixed a little bit of black in with it to darken it up a little bit, but I use this to paint the walls surrounding the window. I actually was not very careful and got a bunch of paint on the next pages. I should have probably put down a piece of paper in between the pages, but that's a learning event. I just love how vivid this blue is. It makes me so happy to open up my bullet journal and see this for May, so I hope I'll enjoy it all month. I even got some paint on my notebook cover, which was less than ideal, but because it's pleather, it was able to rub off pretty easily. So now after the paint has dried, I'm just filling in my calendar here, checking my future log to make sure that I get all the dates right. And then I go in with my Uniball Signo gel pen and in white, and just write May in a nice little cursive font here. So that's it with the cover page. I didn't actually do a lot of spreads this month, really just the cover page and then my habit trackers, my mood tracker, and task list. Since I keep several different journals, I ended up only really needing my Nuna for a few things. I mostly just use my weekly spreads in here, which you'll see me set up in just a few minutes. I think also because I was using paint, I wanted to keep it pretty minimal this month, just because, let's be honest, I got tired of painting after a while and would like to just use marker and pens. I can definitely see myself using more gouache in this notebook. Maybe not for an entire spread, but especially for little illustrations and details. It was really fun to play around with big, bold blocks of color, like I did on the cover page, and as you'll see me do right here. Markers would bleed through the paper if I tried to do big blocks of color like this, so I think I'll keep it in mind that the gouache doesn't bleed through, and if I want big spaces just filled in with color, I'll go with the paints. I just wanted to bring in some more of that bright orange from the first page, so I'm kind of doing an outline to my habit tracker here. And then on the other page, under my task list, I decided to do another little window illustration with a bunch of books and plants and a box of tissues on the windowsill. I thought this theme was really appropriate since we're all stuck inside right now, and this is a good time to just appreciate the small things in life, like having little plants on the windowsill, or whatever you like to have on your windowsill. I don't know, I like rocks. I didn't really paint any rocks here, but that's what I usually have on my windowsill, lots of rocks. I've been setting up my habit tracker vertically like this for a while now, and it really works for me. I track about 7 or 8 habits each month, and then for my mood tracker, I use the rest of the horizontal lines for each day to just write a sentence, summarizing how I felt that day, how productive I was, or just any notes that correspond with my productivity, how I'm handling things mentally. So you'll see me writing those right here, writing in all the dates, and then I just leave that big square block empty for me to write in the mood of each day. I tend to not use rulers in my bullet journal anymore. I did when I first started, but now I just like to freehand things. Moving on to the task list, well, I don't really know what's going to be on my task list for May. I just got a notice from work that I'm being furloughed, which as far as I understand means I'm not laid off, but I can still apply for unemployment because my job is on hold. So I don't really know when I'll be back to work, but right now I'm just focusing on my well-being. Ramadan will be starting next week and going through May, so inshallah I'll be able to use this free time to focus on my faith and building good habits, strengthening my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't really include anything Ramadan related in this May setup because I already did a 4-page Ramadan spread in my journal. I think my next video will probably be a walkthrough of those pages and how I'm prepping for the upcoming month. I really loved going in with the black and just kind of painting all these little books and trinkets on the wall. I've never really done silhouettes before, or at least I haven't in a long time. I remember I once did a silhouette painting of a bird and a bunch of boats at sunset. I think my parents have that painting. I really took my time with all these lines here, tried to get them to be as straight as possible while freehanding it. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. Gets the point across. So I'm going to end the video with my first weekly setup. In all honesty, I will probably set up the other weeks of May just in pen, but I wanted to have at least one page in the gouache to match the rest of the spreads. I do a really simple layout here, but I'll describe it a little bit, just in case it's new to any of you. So the Nuna notebook has 3.5mm dot spacing, which is quite a bit smaller than the 5mm spacing of most journals, and it's probably my favorite feature that drew me to the Nuna in the first place, since I have really small handwriting and I like to maximize writing space. So for each day here, I'm making a vertical column and then dividing it in two. The top half of each column will be for writing down tasks and notes, and the bottom is an hourly schedule. You'll eventually see me writing in the hours. I believe I went from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. just in case. I try to go to bed before that, but you never know. So yeah, I can use the schedule to block in my tasks, my prayers, anything else that is just time sensitive during the day. I've also gone and made 3 bullet points above each column where I can write some daily focus points or affirmations or anything that I feel is most important for that day. I was inspired partly by the setup of Erin Condren notebooks and of Hobonichi books. In the planner community, there's just so many options, and obviously I got started with my bullet journal, but next year I think I'm going to move into a traveler's notebook. But the Tomoe river paper of the Hobonichi series also really fascinates me, so I think I'm going to try to get some Tomoe river paper inserts for my traveler's notebook. But yeah, and I've also left a few lines at the bottom of each day to write down a song of the day. I don't usually do this, it's new. I usually make playlist spreads for each month, but I've kind of fallen off the wagon. So to make it easier for me to remember, I'm just going to write down a song each day. And yeah, it doesn't have to be new, just anything that's on my mind, whatever I'm listening to. I'll fill in the dates here. And it takes so much time, but I love to just go through and set up each individual day with a hourly schedule. I just think it looks so polished and it's very relaxing to do. Alright, so the flip through is coming up. Sorry that the camera angle is a little wonky, but I'm really happy with how everything turned out. This really makes me want to play around with gouache more. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Please leave a comment and a like if you want to see more of these. I'm still figuring out how to do camera angles and editing and all that jazz, but yeah, that's my May setup.